So the panel moderator is Wojciech, who you already know. He needs no introduction. So Wojciech, you can take over the floor, and I hope it's in English, right?
Yes, it's in English. Hello, everyone. Yes, it's in English. Welcome and thank you for coming. So we try to, no, not we try, we answer the question if the Polish market is still worth to invest in. So the iGaming compliance in Poland, welcome. My first panelist, Justyna Gruszak-Głębicka, PhD in law, is an attorney in law. The topic of her dissertation was the gambling law with some state monopoly aspects. She set up her own law firm based in Warsaw and in Białystok. Her main specialization is the gambling law, compliance with focus on AML aspects. Welcome.
Hi, I'm glad to be here.
My second panelist is Filip Sosnowski, CEO of SB Software, a company specializing in turnkey iGaming software solutions across multiple jurisdictions. Filip brings over 20 years of expertise to the table with a proven track record in leadership roles across both B2C and B2B sectors. Filip's expertise and strategic vision is the available operational perspective in today's discussion. Anna Wietrzyńska-Ciołkowska. Anna is a corporate and mergers and acquisitions lawyer focused on the gambling and insurance sectors. Anna advises clients on establishing and licensing of gambling operations in Poland and the whole palette of services in this aspect that she provides. Prior to joining the DWF, Anna was involved in the legislation process representing the offshore gambling sector and assisted clients in challenging unfavorable decisions before the administrative courts. Last but not least, very, very welcome, Marek. Marek Plota is a founder and head of the legal team at RM Legal Law Firm and Gaming in Poland, providing multidisciplinary and multi-jurisdictional support for leading international gambling operators in the Polish, EU and African markets. His gambling practice includes regulatory support at the pre- and post-licensing stage. Very welcome.
Thank you.
Justyna, what are the key licensing requirements for gambling operators in Poland, and what procedure must they go through to operate legally on the Polish market?
So the primary legislation of gambling area in Poland is the Gambling Act of November 2009. And the main body which gives licenses is Ministry of Finance. So we need to notice that gambling is largely covered by state monopoly. There is, of course, an area when entrepreneurs have some kind of freedom, and it's betting and promotional lotteries, where you need to obtain a license, and we have specific requirement connected with this license. The area which is covered by state monopoly, especially, is online casino, which I suppose a lot of operators are interested about. So first, you need to have a share capital, something like 500,000 euros to obtain a license. You need to have clear structure. You need to be limited liability company or joint stock company operating in Poland. And of course, if you are entrepreneur and company from European Union member state or free trade association, you can also obtain a license here, but you need to have some kind of representative or a branch. Marek will tell us something about it later. And you need to operate under similar rules in your country. You need to, this is necessary, submission a business plan, operating plan. You need to have some rules for responsible gambling. This is an area you need to cover also. What's important more, you cannot have some criminal records, yeah? So members of a company, they can't have criminal records. And of course, this must be clear origin of a source of a company. It takes, I think, 6 months is the shortest time to obtain a license. And you need to pay for the permission. This is something like 34,000 euros. Also, you need to pay more for online activity and for every website. So basically, those are requirements you need to fill in if you want to join our market.
Thank you. Anna, as we've heard, one of the approaches is to enter the market through the organic licenses, and the other way is through acquiring of the existing entity. What are the key differences between these two approaches?
Thank you for the question. Yes, the licensing processes takes time. Yeah? It is 6 months. It's the minimum period. Sometimes it can take 9 months, even a year. But obtaining a license is not the end of the way. You need to wait for the official seals to start the operation. Building your client's portfolio takes time, marketing initiative, and so on. So one of the alternatives is to acquire already existing gambling company with a valid license in Poland. To do that, you need to find the interested target, sign an NDA, conduct a due diligence, and then agree the terms of the transaction, usually file for the antitrust clearance, and in the end notify the change of the ownership to the regulator. The biggest advantage is that usually you can complete those steps within 6 months, around half a year. You already have a company with a valid license, with a platform, usually with the mobile app, and with the customers base, which is also very important because building that takes time and cost. And with, last but not least, with the team, experienced team of skillful people who know the market, know the regulation, who has the relations. So you can actually start, once you file all those notifications and go the antitrust clearance, you can just start to generate some income. And if you would like to do some improvements to that company, just to realize the benefits from the synergies that you identified within the due diligence process, you will have time for that. But from the day one, you can start generate some income.
And this is a very important part that you mentioned, the human factor.
Yeah.
This is the most important one, next to the license, of course, for operating the business. So, Filip, I would like to ask you from the business perspective, because you are the voice of business in our and operational practice in our panel. So if a company is considering to enter the Polish market, from your perspective, business perspective, what approach is better, the organic licensing and building up from scratch, or taking over the existing company?
First of all, I think that the human factor in terms of Poland is not a problem. We have a very long gambling history in Poland. We have a lot of good Polish talented people in the industry. So you always find a good, experienced gambling experts in Poland. Even me, when I was setting up teams for international brands, I always have some Polish people in the team. They are really good. They understand the gambling industry, so this factor should not be a problem. Answering your question, Wojciech, personally, I am a fan of time-to-market strategy. So time is priceless. So I would say that in this respect, M&A of the existing brand is the best solution to keep the time to market strategy in place. However, on the other hand, if you would choose a good partner for software provider, which is SB Software, for example, will help you to launch a new brand for Polish market within up to 6 weeks. We'll also set it up based on our experience in a way that you will go through the process of approval from Ministry of Finance smoothly. At the moment, there are 19 brands in Poland, sportsbook brands. 13 of them are serious. I mean they have budget, they invest in acquisition, marketing, product. And out of these 13 brands, 5 is on SB Software, so we have experience to do that. So it depends on the investor, I would say, Wojciech. If the time to market is important for him, I would suggest M&A. It's also easy. He should just contact me and I will help him to find a good candidate for M&A. And
from the business perspective. And the lawyers make the rest.
Correct, and the best lawyers are
exactly.
And if the time to market is not the most important for him, then building a new brand for Polish market is also possible. It's doable. We have proven expertise both from legal and operational side. So,
yeah, thank you very much. So, Marek, I would like to ask you, because we have spoken about the licensing and acquiring, but there is a third way. So some operators choose to provide the gambling services in Poland without establishing a local company or branch. What are the legal possibilities and for this approach, the risks, taxations?
Yeah. So thanks a lot for this question. I will just make one comment on M&A in contrary to the licensing options. It always depends on the company that actually is a target. Because if this is a simple company, it could be time efficient to buy this one. However, there
when
are
the books are
that,
clean and everything, and the reputation fine. So
if there is a financial and legal history that the lawyers need to verify under due diligence process, it might be time consuming, and then licensing would be the better option for them to do instead of M&A. But on the market there are a lot of options. I'm not saying that they are actual targets and acquiring options, but still the clients need to verify whether licensing would be longer than M&A. So, but going back to your questions regarding the representative, it's not a third option. It's actually under the licensing process. Okay. So we have 3 ways to enter the Polish market through application process. So you can establish the local entity, which requires obviously people on the ground, the entire corporate structure. You can do the branch, which is much easier in terms of a cash flow. It's probably quite efficient for the companies that could just move funds to the branch without making, I don't know, loans or something. So this is the efficient option, but still requires people on the ground, requires some registrations in the local business register. And there is a third option, which is quite beneficial when you compare it to other jurisdictions, because Polish Gambling Act allowed to appoint a representative, Polish company or natural person who's going to represent the offshore company, which is based wherever in European Union. The only condition is that the company need to have a license, sports betting license in other EU jurisdiction. And this enables the company to make the test flight for the market without deploying all the structure, people, and technology here in Poland, and they can use their resources in Malta, for example, on France or Germany, just in order to operate on the market without moving this person. So usually appointing the representative allows them to check on the market, whether it's efficient, whether it's profitable, and once the game is beneficial, they deploy more local persons incorporate local companies, just to hire people. So this is the great option that actually our law firm and the company Gaming in Poland took advantage of. And we are official representatives for BetClick, which is quite successful. They literally crush it in Poland right now. We used to be representatives to Betway. Unfortunately, they withdrawn from the market just after the IPO. An M&A they did in New York Stock Exchange. I'm not disclosing any the legal confidential information. This is the official information disclosed on the site of the Ministry of Finance. So this is kind of a third option under the licensing process that clients can use just in order to make this test flight and check on the market without incorporating a local entity.
So from the business perspective, this is the smooth and easy way and cost efficient.
Yeah, this is a smooth and easy way. And with regards to the complications, difficulties with opening bank account, which now in Poland also is the case, like in other jurisdictions. We disregarded it before, but since 2023, 2024, banks actually applied all the AML rules that makes it very difficult for the companies, Polish companies that intend to provide gambling services and have foreign shareholding structure. So on the risk matrix, the banks are identifying some risk that might be some kind of a blocker in opening bank account. When you have a bank account in Malta and you have a registered seat in Malta and appoint a representative in Poland, and thanks to this representative you can apply for a license and obtain a license as a foreign entity, you can use your financial institution in Malta, France, or wherever is the company based, without any, without struggling with regards to the financial flows. So this is also the thing. Obviously, Polish bank is going to open bank accounts. There are other operators who are based in Poland with shareholding structure from abroad, and they still have bank accounts. So absolutely, it's possible. But everyone on this in this room knows how AML, KYC process is going when it comes to opening bank accounts. So, you can avoid this.
Okay.
And adding something to this topic, our Ministry of Finance is quite flexible recently in this respect. I mean that we have out of these 19 active licenses, sportsbook licenses, we have both. We have some of them are being held by the local Polish investors. Some of them are held by the international companies like Superbet, BetClick, Betson, etc. And our Ministry of Finance treat them equally. So it's the same chances for the Polish investors, international companies to acquire the license and operate successfully in Poland.
Okay, thank you. Justyna, since the Ministry of Finance recently established a new department on its board handling the taxes, and this is the change, the first change since for 8 years, can we expect significant reforms, changes in the gambling industry, in the gambling law in this respect?
I think yes, definitely. This is a significant change. We press government for establishing some chamber dedicated only to gambling industry. And now we have some kind of department dedicated to this industry. I was attending a meeting where representatives of my Ministry of Finance were present, and I'm a witness when they asked a question. Is it possible to make online casino more liberal in the future? And they said that it's not excluded. And it means a lot, really, because our Ministry of Finance doesn't have a problem with saying no. So, not excluded means that probably they are preparing something. We need to know that every country which chose a state monopoly as a system in a country has a problem with gray market, yes? So in Poland, we also have a big problem because our gray market is something about 40% I'm talking about online casino right now. So 40%, this is a big gray area, as everywhere where we deal with state monopoly system. And we didn't change anything in our legislation since 2016. Yes, so this is a long time. We need to make some changes because online area is growing and growing, still growing and changing. Yeah? So this require significant change in our legislation, and I suspect it will change something. So if I would bet, I can say that online casino will be the area where they will change something. So it's worth to keep an eye on our market because changes are coming.
Thank you. Anna, what are the biggest differences between the regulation in Poland and those in the EU? Does Poland stand out in comparing to the other jurisdictions with some kind of different regulations?
I would say that it's a restrictive market because we've got for this online sector we've got the monopoly, except for this online sports betting and promotional lotteries. But with respect to the solution that we have, I don't believe they are quite different that we have in other jurisdictions. That means the IP blocking, payments blocking, licensing regime with relatively short time, because usually the license is for 6 years only. So I would say that apart from this online casino monopoly and apart from the restriction that we've got for online poker, which outside of the casino is impossible to play, all other areas or regulation are pretty similar like in other European countries. So nothing to be afraid of.
So if somebody is already present somewhere in the EU, it would be not a really new world.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do not be afraid. It's a market that you can enter and you can flourish on.
Thank you very much. Would you like to add something?
Yeah, I can
Yes?
add something more, that we don't distinguish B2B and B2C licenses. So it's significant also here on the Polish market.
Thank you. Filip, as we hear, Poland is a highly regulated market. From your business perspective, is it actually profitable? What does the real number say? Do the numbers say, and what positive trends do you see in the market?
Yes. Let me repeat that we have one of the highest tax for sports betting in Europe, which is 12% on stakes. We calculated this for our 5 customers, and for them it's equal to 45% of GGR. But still, last year, for all of our clients, they closed with the profits. So even with this high tax regime, if you are consequently improving the product, offer a good experience to the players, and even with this tax regime, you can make profits. So I think these are the numbers, right? So you cannot discuss the numbers or deny the numbers. Additionally, there are constantly new operators entering Polish market. There were 2 new operators last year. So it also shows that the Polish market is more and more attractive. Polish betting market is every year on year growing. There was not a single year when the Polish market was shrinking, gambling market. Every year it's bigger and bigger. Sometimes even it's the 2-digit percentage growth. And finally, I would like to share with you one example of 2 different approaches to the Polish market. When this new license was introduced in Poland, there were 2 different approaches of the international brands, which has been targeting Polish market without the license in the past. One of these approach was Bet at Home, a very strong brand back in the days in Poland. A second
I know it very well back
yes.
then.
A second approach, so you will not like what I'm going to say. And the second approach was with the different operators. So Bet at Home kept saying that, no, we don't respect Polish license, it's against the EU law, we will not apply for the Polish license, we'll keep fighting with the European...
Existing Maltese.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this was their approach. At the same time, the other brands considered and made up their minds to apply for the Polish license. And nowadays, Bet at Home is completely out of Polish market. They are not on Polish market. Generally, they are struggling. The other brands, for these few years, they built a very, very big position in the Polish market, and they are either profitable or already profitable. So it's like the market when if you are there, if you are constantly growing your business, it's worthy to be there. And the Bet at Home made a very big decision. As far as I know, it was reflected significantly in their general numbers of their companies.
Yes.
So. And also during the panels yesterday and today, I heard many times that in some other jurisdictions, the only way to limit the black or gray market is to set up a regulation when the operators will want to regulate themselves. In my opinion, it's the only way to kill the black market, is to come up with the regulation when the operators themselves will ask for the license. And in Poland, we have few brands who started targeting Polish market with the Maltese license, and now after 3 years, they're applying for the Polish license. Mm-hmm. So it's another proof that this regulation is more and more appealing, and also the growth of the market, even for the, let's say, gray operators to move to the bright side of the moon.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you very much. Marek, the penalties for violating the gambling regulations are not particularly high in Poland. So, in your opinion, would the stricter enforcement be more effective, or should be the market rather liberalized?
No, obviously, the value of the administrative fines is relative, and for big entities, it's absolutely irrelevant. My issue with the gambling regulation in Poland is are not fines or over-regulation, but under-regulation. Because when you look at two bills that actually matter for the gambling operators in Poland, you can see Gambling Act with administrative fines and Penal Fiscal Code with criminal liability. So when you are not 100% certain what to do in terms of promoting, advertising, and unintentionally you break the Gambling Act and you fall under the criminal liability under the Penal Fiscal Code. Given that the Polish Gambling Act requires everyone involved in the operation, from beneficial owner up to managing directors, to have clear criminal records, then you have an issue, because lack of guidelines of the Minister of Finance serving as a regulator, lack of precise provisions of the Gambling Act, especially with regards to advertising and promotion, which is really easy to breach, especially when bookmakers are intending to have very creative promotional campaigns. This makes the operation in Poland a little bit risky, and this is where all of us, beside Philip, are worth contacting to lead you through this legal maze, and in order to avoid any risk, because this is a true minefield, and this minefield can be avoided by having reliable legal advice. And every marketing campaign should be verified beforehand, and before going live you need to check whether this particular campaign does not breach the law. And going back to your question, the value of the administrative fines is not the case. Being convicted is the case, and this is what we should work on, because like someone told on the LATAM panel, legal operators are the good guys. So the country,
it was William.
Yeah, so the Polish authorities should chase the bad guys, which are offshore illegal operators, not the good guys. They should push them to convert to the white market, to the legal market, instead of making problems to the legal entities.
Absolutely.
Maybe the reason, Marek, is that with the good guys, at least they know where to send the email. With the bad guys, they don't know how to contact
There is
them.
info at gmail.com. Absolutely, since we have many other stereotypes that the industry has to fight with, at least in this respect, we should be seen as the good guys. Definitely. So, Justina, the other topic, just switching a little bit to the innovations, how could the regulations under the MiCA, the markets in crypto assets, impact the gambling industry in Poland, and do you see the opportunities in this respect for the market as the innovation?
Yes, we have a lot of new EU regulations which are directly applicable in our country, and one of them is MiCA. So we have first operator in Poland which is using right now cryptocurrencies. And this is a big shift in our country, because previous we hadn't any operator, gambling operator, which could use cryptocurrencies, legally, of course. So for the gambling industry, if you want to cooperate with cryptocurrencies, they need to have a title of national payment institution. And they need to obtain a license for it. And it was very difficult to get it. We don't have any cryptocurrency operator which is called national payment institution in our country. So MiCA can change it, because MiCA is about, clarify some rules connected with cryptocurrency operators. So it will be clearly KYC procedure. We will have clear transactions connected with cryptocurrencies. And this is an opportunity. Okay, I know a lot of entities connected with cryptocurrencies might think about MiCA that this is some kind of obstacle, but let's see the other side. This is an opportunity to join the legal part of the industry. Why? Because when you can obtain a license under MiCA for cryptocurrency operations, then it will be easier to get a license as a national payment institution first. Of course, other paths of cooperating with gambling industry exist, but I'm talking about this main path, which is worth to notice. And I think there is a space for cryptocurrencies operators, because gambling industry like cryptocurrencies very much. And we don't have it on the market. So right now there is a time to join our market and try to obtain a license and then connect with the gambling industry.
I can confirm what Justina said, that there is one licensed sportsbook who is offering crypto payments, and I can give you insights more to come.
Thank you. Another hot topic next to the MiCA regulations are the loot boxes. Anna, I would like to ask you, what changes in the regulatory approach led the loot boxes being classified as the promotional lotteries?
Yes, in the past, loot boxes are not listed in our gambling law as a type of the gambling game. So in the past, all the sector relied on the press statement of somebody from the Ministry of Finance that loot boxes in video games are not a gambling game. Of course, most of us lawyers has stressed the fact that the press release from the Ministry of Finance or press statement is not a law, it's not official ruling on interpretation. But nobody was paying more attention. Everyone was happy with the statement, and so that was how the market looked like for many years. And about 2 years ago, something changed in the Ministry of Finance, again, without any official statement, but they started to issue decision in a procedure for determining the gambling character of the undertaking. And in this decision, they started to state that different models based on the loot box mechanism should be considered as the promotional lotteries. Lately, the ministry also blacklisted a couple of websites on which the loot boxes have been available. So I would say, although it does not result from any judgment, any official ruling, that we should consider that nowadays in Poland, loot boxes are no longer non-gambling game, and we should treat them as a gambling game, especially as there have been at least one promotional lottery on the market, which was based already on the loot box mechanism and was organized based on the permit based on the license from the Ministry of Finance, confirming its character as the promotional lottery.
Thank you. Since we have another 5 minutes, only 2 more questions. Marek, the next one is to you. Since advertising and promotion gambling in Poland is highly restrictive and complex, what are the biggest challenges for the operators, and what should the operators be cautious about in this respect?
This is the referral to what I said previously with regards to under-regulation. Our issue as lawyers and operators in Poland is to distinguish the advertising and the promotion. Those definitions in the Gambling Act are almost the same. The promotional part should include the form of encouraging customers to participate in gambling. In fact, the advertising communication is encouraging them as well, but in a less persuasive form. So doing this very, very strict analysis of the marketing communication is the most important part of our job when operators ask us to issue opinion on the specific kind of communication. The promotion and advertising, according to the Gambling Act, must be public to fall under the definition of the Gambling Act. So operators are trying to circumvent the provisions of the Gambling Act by making closed groups of addressees on the Instagram and YouTube profiles in order to make this communication less public. And this is how they try to avoid falling under the regulation of promotion. In terms of advertising, in turn, putting a legal note under the banner on the LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube would make it fine and legit. However, the details are always the case, and this is where lawyers come and try to make this activity safer than operators doing it absolutely themselves. The issue of this distinguish and consequences of breaching these regulations are especially under penal fiscal code. So the criminal liability for breaching advertising regulation is something which is kind of madness. However, it is true. So it's not like it's a huge risk. If you have a legal support, you will make it. We observe, especially in terms of customs activity, that those authorities are going after the influencers, the entities that provide marketing services in internet. So the regulator is looking at it, is trying to limit the illegal advertising and promotion. However, it's a maze. So this maze is absolutely seamless if properly advised.
Thank you. The closing question from my end to you, Philip. Since the crash games, this is another hot topic, are gaining the traction internationally, do you see the potential in this segment and what could be the further steps for the industry?
Wojciech, I don't see a potential, I see the numbers. So our B2B clients are making fantastic money from the crash games in the other jurisdictions. Until now, our Polish clients were not able to make the same money on Polish market. So the crash games are very hot topic, meaning like it's trending, everyone loves it. In Africa, it's booming a lot as we speak, also Romania, other countries. So Poland, our Polish clients were always like, it's not happy that they cannot join this money train, let's go like this. But something changed. I think that's another proof what Justyna said, that the Ministry of Finance is open for a dialogue. Because a few weeks ago, the first crash game was approved to be launched on Polish market. As a former advisor to the board of STS, I am proud that it was my colleagues from STS who convinced the Ministry of Finance that the crash game is okay. It's simply like it's okay. At the moment, as far as I saw, it was taken out from the website because it requires some updates based on the comments from the Ministry of Finance. But that's a thing that a good direction, showing that step by step we are closer and closer to the casino regulation in Poland. Let's not forget that Finland for so many years has been like a very, let's call it solid monopoly, but even Finland is now escaping monopoly regime. Mm-hmm. So in my personal opinion, after Finland, Poland will be the next one the next market who will open the casino for the private sector. And
so another reason to join the Polish market soon.
Yes, I mean, the sportsbook operators who are already now operating in Poland, of course, they will be the first one who will be time to market. As I said before, time to market will be the most important factor that time. And who is now in the market operating sportsbook license will be the first ones to do it.
Sure. How does it look like from your perspective, Marek?
From the legal perspective, I share the optimism, obviously. However, instead of close eyes and go ahead with the product, there is a legal solution to make it fully secured. So applying first to the ministry, because we have this procedure under the Polish Gambling Act. So applying first to the ministry to issue the decision on the determination of the nature of the game would be the best way to make sure that particular crash game is legit and we can go live with the product on the website. So this is what I would advise everyone who is intending to incorporate the product on the platform. And the Polish Minister of Finance have shown the flexibility previously and showed it this time as well with the betting on card games back in 2018, I believe. And now with this crash games not being questioned so far, this is the good sign for us and for the market and for the foreign investors that we can move on with the innovative products and try to make this wave and succeed.
Thank you. I would like to ask every one of you just at the end, send to our available audience the very one-sentence conclusion about the Polish market and seeing it from your perspective. What would it be? The very last one sentence. I have mine. I'm curious about yours. Justina, please. Just as an essence.
Yeah, our
of the
market, it can be seen as challenging, but we are a big country with great gambling potential. So definitely it's worth to invest in Poland.
Thank you. Filip?
My advice to the operators, investors who are not yet on Polish market is don't lose this opportunity. Join the market, invest in the market which is stable, which has a long history, and which is driven by the gambling people who have a very good experience from international companies, and that will help you to make profits on Polish market. And these are the case studies, proven concept, numbers. As I said, don't question the numbers, just join this money train and be on time in the market.
So stability and experience, this is what I noted. It's fantastic. Anna?
Keep an eye on Poland, and if have any doubts whether something will be permitted or not, do not afraid to ask us lawyers, and through us ask the regulator. There is a route to ask it for an official ruling without disclosing the name of the client. That's the way. If you would like to check whether something will be possible, just dare to ask and check.
Thank you. Marek?
Tomorrow I will have a pleasure to attend the debate in the Polish Parliament on counteracting the illegal gambling. So my advice is don't be illegal anymore. Come to the market, because you are not seriously looking at the European gambling market and disregarding in the same time Polish customers. So feel invited.
Thank you very much. So what I noted is definitely keep an eye on Poland. Don't be illegal. There is stability and experience what allows you to make the profit. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. My name is Wojciech Trzaska. I'm the Chief Communications Officer at SB Software, where I turn the brand visibility and the brand narratives into the solid business assets. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.